Welcome back to another episode of the Bear Trap on the Boomer Bust channel, a Bears podcast by a Bears fan. I'm your host, Terry, and today we got some film looking at Daniel Jones. So a number of people asked for a number of things. One of those things was kind of time in the pocket for Daniel Jones versus Trubisky. People talked about looking at the corners, all those different types of things. So number one, let me just remind you, if you haven't heard my content before, I'm only limited by what I can do with this platform as far as the film. So I can't break it down by quarter. I can't break it down by a lot of different things, which I wish I could. That could give me a lot more flexibility in what I do. But I just kind of got to work with what I got. But I chose to look at Daniel Jones' completed passes, I think, especially in the second half, because people want to see the defense and like what was happening. I think the completed passes will help tell that story a little bit. And so we can look at the time in the pocket. We can also see the corner play. We can see a lot of different things. So, whenever film is tough because you can focus on one player and get a lot of information and completely miss everything else happening in the play. So it's not to say that that's not true, but at the same time, just because I say, all right, I'm looking at Daniel Jones' completed passes, that doesn't mean we're not seeing information from all over the field. So just want to throw that out there. But yeah, I chose to go with his completed passes, and we'll kind of roll like that. I mean, comparing to Trubisky, I think if you watch those film, they rushed 3 a lot from the Giants, played a lot of max coverage. So in this particular game, there was a lot of time in the pocket. And so we'll see kind of the difference there. So with all that being said, let's go ahead and get this started. There's 25, which is a lot. I'll try not to go super long, but we are looking at a number of things, so that can be a little tough. So this first play, first quarter, got a completion, just a little check down. Really, we have a flat route and then a curl, a number of curls over here, and just pretty good space. I mean, nothing too fancy. We'll look at the pass rush. Obviously, we're in a base formation right now in those early downs. And so, yeah, just motioning over the receiver late to the flat, then the tight end just kind of doing his curl, which wasn't a whole lot. Just a quick rhythm throw. And actually, that was the receiver, another receiver, sorry. All right, so first down here. We're in the second quarter. So that is interesting. Again, like I said, that first half was different. We jumped all the way to the second quarter before his next completion. And this looks familiar. It's darn near exactly what we were running. So it looks like they're in 22 personnel. Just going to play action to dive here. Now, this is a one-man route, though. That would be the only difference. So, I mean, one-man route, deep curl. I mean, they leaked some people late, but essentially they ended up with a one-man route. And it's pretty similar to what we did offensively as well with Allen Robinson a lot. Yeah, so like the two people in the backfield, got caught up, so they didn't really get out. And that's not usual. Obviously, you don't usually see a one-man route. So we got Eddie Jackson up on the line. Looks like we have at least 7 in the box, probably 8. And yeah, no real pass rush on Daniel Jones. The play action could have held them a little bit. You see Mingo actually getting underneath the tight end pretty well, but then he's just washed out, that's not great. Not by a tight end. And then, yeah, I mean, again, there's a reason people are liking curls more and more. It's the same reason they like throwing the tight ends. You're just able to box somebody out. You don't really have to gain a whole lot of separation. So they go with a double tight end look under center, play action again. And I believe I said this in my recap, like at one point, everybody just started doing play action on both sides of the ball, and it was working. Even though the run game wasn't that great on either side, both just started doing well with play action. I mean, our linebackers don't bite really at all. So you think they'd be okay. And then I can't tell if that's Trevathan or Roquan, but they just took a bad angle. That's Trevathan. Just took a bad angle on the running back. You want to see them switch. Roquan plays the weak side. Like I said, the linebackers don't bite. We're in coverage. We're pretty good here. And then just a bad angle by Trevathan, who then... And I'm not sure what Roquan was looking at. I'm not really saying that's his fault, but Roquan started to move towards something. And that's what allowed the back to get across. Yeah, I'm not sure where Roquan was jumping. So, well, let me go forward. In both of these cases, I don't like what they did because Trevathan takes a bad angle because at this point, there's only one receiving threat. I mean, the tight end stays in the block, but you can see they're not releasing. And so, and then Roquan jumps late at what? I don't know. There was no one there. And that just leaves them open. So both of the linebackers on that. And I'm interested to see Jalen hold up because he tackles a lot with that low shoulder. And then we're towards the end of the second quarter. So not a lot of completions in that first half. So it looks like we're in cover 3. They run the curls, the deep curls, then the inside move. And, I mean, first you got a good amount of time to make that throw. Now, at this point in cover 3, that's pretty much man. You're going to man up. There's no other threat there. So a little bit of a push off. I mean, just physical at the top of the route. And then the receiver's able to just kind of box out and take that ball. But that's where you want to see Jalen be a little more physical at the top of that route. Looks like we're in a big nickel. We got Bush out there, which is interesting. We've seen that more since that first game where Trevathan really didn't look that great. So that is a difference that we're picking up. So as far as pass rush, I mean, there's nothing going at all. And our big dogs is there because, you know, they like to talk last year. Oh, well, we didn't have Hicks. Oh, well, we didn't do this. Well, we do that. You got Robert Quinn. You got Hicks. You got Khalil Mack. Khalil's going to stun inside. And then Hicks is going to go out. I mean, running back helps pick it up. Zeitler by himself picks up Mack. Robert Quinn, I mean, Andrew Thomas did a real good job on Robert Quinn on the edge. And Robert Quinn beat him early. You get the tight end, so he lines out wide, gives him a nice little chip. Or actually, Andrew Thomas didn't really have to handle him to the end. So, I mean, you just got a lot of protection there, and they did a real good job. And so, I mean, in those one-on-one situations, you want to see Jalen Johnson just be a little more physical. And so I'm just trying to see Eddie Jackson get into the middle of the field, looking at the quarterback's eyes. Now, at that point, I don't know what Eddie's covering because there's nobody there. Like, I understand he's, and this might be a case of him being too fast. I understand he's looking at the quarterback's eyes, and that's quarterback looking the safety off. So the safety's now playing the single side, but he's drifting to green grass. Look at the receiver. He's nowhere near there. Like Eddie has to play that better and understand what a receiver is. He's just covering green grass. All right, so second quarter again. I mean, this is pretty, we could skip this play. This is the end of the second quarter. So now we're in the third quarter, first down and 10. We're up 17-0 at this point. 12 personnel, 2 tight ends, play action. So in that case, Jones does a good job avoiding the rush, stepping up in the pocket, delivering the throw. So it's going to be a play action. Looks like a 2-man route. Everybody else kind of stays in to help block. And they just run deep curls. I mean, it's weird. It's like we're watching a mirror of us, because that's kind of what we were running on offense. And Gibson, same thing. I mean, this happens a lot. I don't really like this. Like, at that point, the deep safety is like, you got to plan and drive at some point. Because if you just continue to drift down the field, then you just covering green grass. Like, at some point, you got to look at what the receiver's actually running. So we got Eddie up in the box. Again, play action. You got both tight ends on Khalil Mack, who does a good job of splitting. I mean, you could have called that a hold. You definitely could have. I mean, his arm was real high. And Khalil does what you're supposed to do, which is rip to the ear, rip all the way up to get through that. But we know there's holding on every play. Mingo pins inside. I don't know if they were doing a stunt, but Thomas actually does a good job of not holding him. He had his arm across his neck, but it wasn't grabbing. He just kind of used his length on him. And so, trying to go through all the pass rushers. I mean, the interior didn't really get much movement, and we saw a lot of max protection. So it was interesting because the Giants played a lot of max coverage against us, and on offense they did a lot of max protection. But really, again, it doesn't matter when you have these type of routes where, it's not man-to-man coverage. It's zone, cover 3, and a good job by the receiver working back to the ball, because if you do what Allen Robinson did and just sit here, then you're talking about an incomplete pass, a tougher pass. But, yeah, that's what's going to happen. Like, we run quarter sometimes. Sometimes we run cover 2, but we run cover 3 as well. And we're more so, as far as corners, we're quarters guys, we're cover 2 guys. Like cover 3, our corners aren't fast. And so when we're in cover 3, they're going to be playing the deep a lot more closely, and that gives you stuff underneath. And so I actually would have liked to see a lot less cover 3 than we're actually running right now. Oh, that ended up being completed. That was just a play action screen. I mean, good job by the defense rallying to the quarterback. Didn't really go nowhere. So third quarter still, second down. So then we get in the man coverage situation. Good recognition by Jones. Just goes to his outlet across the middle. You got a blitz off the edge and man coverage. That's a good job of him knowing his outlet. He probably could have had a bigger play there. Same thing I talked about Trubisky, recognizing the blitz, recognizing man coverage. Because somebody just leaves this tight end open. I don't know if the safety was in man coverage with him, because Roquan was covering the same person as somebody else. So looks like a miscommunication there. Now I'm just watching Jalen at the bottom of the screen, and that's what he likes to do. Likes to be physical at the line and then ride your hip when you go vertical. And that's probably where he's most comfortable. All right, so just looking at the pass rush from that. Like I said, there was a blitz. Good recognition by Jones. The initial pass rush, the non-blitzers didn't really, get too much penetration, but it was a quick throw. So 1st and 10, still in the third quarter. Obviously backed up in their own territory. Check down to the tight end. Looks like we're in cover 2. Looks like man coverage. Let's see here. Where's our other linebacker? I see Roquan. Anyway, Walters comes out here. So it looks like Walters wasn't in man. He was in some type of zone. Just, no no way he was covering that, especially he wasn't looking at it. So I'm not sure exactly what the coverage was there. I want to say it was cover 2 because Walters was not playing man. Neither was Roquan. All right, so 3rd and 3. They got a bunch to the left side. Looks like cover 3. Ends up checking it down on a late release. Now, we got good coverage on the field, obviously. Had to check it down. Jalen does well. You can see Kyle Fuller plays off, not really trusting his speed as much. But Jalen likes to be a lot more physical at the line to dictate that speed. And then you got Kyle Fuller just playing the hip and breaking down off of that. And then a good job by Gibson as well. So it was good coverage. So now we'll go to the... So we got the double A-gap mug. Khalil Mack and Robert Quinn on the edge. Both linebackers bail out. And then the running back just late releases. This was a good play by... Oh, yeah, I forgot. It was a real nice play by Daniel Jones. That was real good stuff. The running back didn't help them whatsoever. Didn't really help at all. Robert Quinn does a good job. Andrew Thomas just doesn't move his feet at all. And again, I've said this before in my recap, and I said it before, one of the biggest difference in pass rushes is motor. And Robert Quinn, clearly a career pass rusher, has a motor that a lot of people don't. And that second wave, he's getting to the quarterback. Because the initial wave, he isn't there. He's locked up with Thomas. But that second wave, that second effort is when he gets there. But that was just a good play by Jones. It was good coverage deep. All right, 1st down. Still in the third quarter. Under center. Play action again. This time they do a skinny post. So Fuller's playing off. Again, this looks like cover 3. Fuller slips a little, but look, the thing with cover 3, the skinny post is going to be there. That's a great cover 3 beater. Especially you want to look at the leverage. Fuller has good leverage, but they know their drops. He drops to the outside to take away outside leverage. And then you expect this for the inside leverage. But the problem with that is with zone, as I continue to say, and this is why I coach this way, with zone, too many times players like to stare at the quarterback and they don't actually see the route. So now, Gibson, you're the underneath coverage. You need to know where this receiver is at. Your angle's off, so you can't even make that play. And Fuller has outside cover or leverage, so he's not going to be able to make that play either. And then Jalen Johnson doing another good job. I mean, he's got standard big corner ability. Like, he gets on the line and he sticks with you. And I really like that. It'll still be interesting because we haven't played like a speedster per se. But it will be interesting to see what happens when he plays someone that can just take him off the line. We'll see if he's able to dictate the speed still. But right now, I really like it. I'm worried about his tackling, but I really like everything else. All right, so first down, we're still in the third quarter. And I feel like this is some type of quarters coverage, just the way we're lined up. Ends up going with a check down. So we'll just look at the routes. They got about 2x2 bunch. So we got an inside, basically a pick route, little rub route. And I don't know. It looks kind of like what we run, but a lot more sloppy. Then the wheel route on the outside was wide open. Like, the spacing isn't really well, so it's kind of hard to see what they're doing. But you're just going to have this little rub route, little spot up. They break out. I mean, Kyle Fuller was on that wheel route. He would have been there, so I'm not worried about that. So let's see the coverage from the linebackers. The deep coverage was fine. So we send 4. The protection is good. Mac gets there right towards the end. But nobody else is doing anything outside of Mac, man. And Zeitler is going one-on-one with most of the people he's blocking. Yeah, Trevathan just got real lost in the sauce on that crosser. Once again, seeing our linebackers be a little bit exposed. All right, so we're in the third quarter. 1st and 5 to go. Trips left. Both safeties back. Little underneath thing, and it's something we just gotta get used to with the curls, man. I don't like them. I like them more with tight ends, but I don't know. It's just not my style. Not something that I would really run. I like more catch and run concepts. So I like the shallow crosses and stuff like that where you can get a person on the run. I like that much better. I mean, and that's the league's bread and butter right now. As I said, with a tight end, a big body, box out, catch it. Especially on the corners, not much they can do. 1st and 7, third quarter. Play action out of the gun, and this is a pick route, which is played really well by Eddie Jackson. But it looks like, I'm not sure, obviously they were trying to catch them in some type of man coverage. Not sure if we were in zone or not. It looks like we had to be in zone because Jalen Johnson is not covering anybody. So obviously with pick routes, you would like that to be man coverage where Usually, okay, so Buster's here. He's got the front person, or the point, the pivot, whatever. And then Jalen has the second. So he's going to get in his way and he's going to go free. But it looks like some type of zone. So Eddie just does a real good job stepping up. I don't know if he's always would have made that play, but obviously in this, year 3, year 4? Yeah, he came in with Trubisky. Year 4, he's been real good. So that's a great play by him. But that's what they were looking at the whole way. That was a pick play. All right, fourth quarter, 2nd and 4, still on this goal line. 2-by-2. Looks like we got everybody up. So a blitz, man coverage. They go from the stack formation again. Pretty much doing another rub route. I mean, good job by Jalen Johnson to get around it. I think if that pass is a little bit crispier by Jones, that could have been touchdown. But yeah, I have my thoughts on that. I really don't know why defenses do that, man. I really don't. I rarely see teams that do an inside out, and I would much rather do that. But even if it's man coverage, you can do an IOU. Just IOU. Now I'm taking anything that comes inside. You're taking anything that comes outside. Obviously, they can do double routes. That might hurt you a little bit, but I prefer that, especially with these pick routes. All right, so play action. Dump down again. Looks like Walters is in the mix. So they're going to play action. They send 2 routes deep. 1 delayed release by the receiver, 1 by the running back. And they do 2 deep curls, which kind of takes all the coverage deep. So let me see. Both corners are back. Well, actually just Fuller's back. Looked like they were doing some type of cover 2 inverted, or cover 6. But anyway, let's look at it from the end zone view. Now, where the linebackers went, I don't know. That's what made me think it's a cover 2, because they got deep, like some type of Tampa 2. Roquan took off running. I mean, let me see. Fuller's off. Way off. Eddie's up in the box. And then Walters drops back to a flat curl. Yeah, not sure. What I am sure of is that Trevathan was just kind of floating in space. And again, this is, if you watch enough, this is me reacting to what I see. I don't know their coverage assignments, so I can't say for sure. I mean, Trevathan's looking right at Ingram before he starts to move. I'm not sure why he just keeps sinking. All right, 2nd and 18. So behind the sticks, we're in our regular nickel. Looks like man coverage. Looks like Jalen Johnson. So he opens up with the outside leverage. He curls. I mean, he just got stuck. He planted, but he didn't move. Like, he planted his feet, but he didn't drive on the ball. Either worried about a double move or whatnot, which is fair, but you got that safety there as well. I mean, it's a short game, but that's kind of what happened there. And, you got Evan Ingram as well, which is a big target. Yeah, Jalen. I mean, and then he didn't even come up and make the tackle. Yikes. All right, 1st and 10. And I guess I should go. Nah, I'm already past it. It's fine. I was going to look at the pass rush, but it was a quick rhythm throw. And that's a lot of what they did. Play actions, curls underneath, quick rhythm throws, a lot of curls. I mean, things that didn't take a long time to develop. So you see that quick strike there. Again, a skinny post, cover 3, a real exaggerated cover 3. Like, at this point, I really don't know why Eddie is so far off the ball. I'd be running that all day. Because even your flat to curl person, like, they're gonna go after. And really, this is a slant. It's not even a skinny post, but well, it's not a hard slant. It's kind of one of those things that people run now that are kind of a mix between the two. But I'll be running that all day. That gap between the safety is huge. And so you'll see it doesn't take too long to develop. We send 5. And Urban almost has a hand on it, but pocket's not too bad. And I wouldn't say we have got no pressure at all, but I mean, we're not really getting off blocks. We're kind of just pushing our weight, trying to collapse the pocket, but these passes are a lot quicker and don't need as much time. So they just ran the slant again, your typical slant combination, flat, slant. Now, just watching, I mean, I love this concept because it's easy. Really, you just kind of got to watch what the corner does. And so the corner opens his hips. You saw the blitz on the edge, so that's all day. Yeah, so screen blitz off the edge. There you go. Yeah, we don't really need to look at the end zone view. All right, 3rd and 10 towards the end of the 4th quarter. Obviously, a big conversion. Well, actually, I don't even remember if they converted, but it's a completion. So out of the empty set, yeah, they converted with the missed tackle. And it was pretty good pass rush. We sent 4. They darn near got home. I mean, we did press man cover 2. And again, just boxing out. That's the name of the game with tight ends today, boxing out. Now, the issue is you got to tackle. Good defenses tackle well because then you turn that completion to a catch and run when you miss that tackle. Who is 97? Is that Mario? Yeah, Mario Edwards Jr. So Khalil Mack does a good job off the edge there, creating that pressure. Not much from anybody else. But yeah, Bush, I mean, this is just exploiting the matchups. You see they try to find Ingram. Oh, that's it. So they try to find Ingram, who is a tight end with your matchup nightmares. And they definitely look for him. But they got bigger receivers as well. And I think all of them whoa, excuse me. All of them did a good job boxing out and just really attacking the ball. So overall, talking about our corners and stuff, I mean, it's really not going to be nothing new for me. I mean, hopefully we all know what Kyle Fuller is. Jalen Johnson is pretty much what I saw coming out with the film. I mean, he's not a speedster. He's not a cover guy. He's physical. He's physical at the point of attack. He's got a good jam. He's long. He'll compete, but he's not going to be speedy down the field. He's not going to be great covering somebody across the field in man coverage. And we do what we usually do. We run a lot of zone, a lot of max cover. We rush forward, and we play ball. But the one thing I'll say that I said before, the linebackers, and we did a little bit bringing in Bush, substituting for Trevathan. But the linebackers, man, we got to get better. Again, the thing when we play zone so much, we have to understand when we're covering green grass. And I get football is fast, and the traditional rules is always to teach you to stare at the quarterback, but you lose receivers that way, and I think we could just be better at it. But I've been saying that for the last 2 years. So some of the same issues, but overall, I think, yeah, really the same thing. Khalil Mack turned it up sometimes. Obviously, Robert Quinn had a good impact when he was able to be there. But opposite those two is not a lot of pass rush going on. So they got a good amount of time. And then with the play action and all that and the two-man routes, you just it's going to happen to us. People are going to try to hit us underneath because they know we can't handle speed. Now, this team, they didn't really have a whole lot of speed. And so I wasn't really worried about over-the-top coverage. And that's probably why we play cover 3. But me, I would have kind of stayed in the quarters a little bit. Kind of 5 yards off for Fuller, on the line for Jalen. Playing anything underneath and inside, and anything deep goes to the safeties. But quarters is a little tough too, because if you got safeties that like to sniff around the line, then you won't have any coverage deep. But honestly, cover 2 would have served us well this game, which is what the Giants was playing a lot of against us. So that's what I would have liked to see. But, overall, that's what I saw. So go to the comment section. Let me know what you think. Share it around. Get the conversation started. Thumbs up, subscribe, and remember, stay up and bear down.